republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Sandy?
Councilmember Stacy Green,
Present.
Councilmember Bob Hall,
Present.
Councilmember Ken Palfini,
Here.
Councilmember Susan Tavalero,
Here.
Mayor Kim Green.
Here. Okay. Non-agenda public comment. Thought we had somebody.
Fixed.
It's already fixed?
Fixed.
Jim ran him off.
Oh, okay. Council member announcements.
I got,
You want to go
Sure.
first? Oh, sounds like you're
I do, look, I have
you're
notes.
excited.
I do, actually, I do. So we had a transportation meeting on Tuesday, and it was a transportation meeting on the stage routes, because there's a company that's redoing the stage routes. I put a question out on Facebook if there's any routes that people are wanting to see. I didn't completely get my way, and neither did Dunsmuir, but they're working on some new routes. And we kind of need people's opinions on where they think they need to go if they're on the stage. And I'd really like to talk to you and other parents from the school as, would you put your kids on there to go to high school in the morning from Shastina? So, that was it. And then we went to the Lola meeting last night out in Tule Lake, and it was very nice. There was not a lot of cities there. Well, I mean, there was more than half of us there. And all the cities are doing some great things. And then we actually had a report from the Modoc Nation. That was very interesting.
Very much.
They have bought some property out there and they're doing some stuff, including bringing in buffalo from Oklahoma
Bison.
that were originally from here.
And then made it to Oklahoma and.
Well, they got
everyone-
sent to Oklahoma,
Okay.
and so now they're going to bring some back. It was good. I want to get him to be a speaker at a Lola meeting. It was very good, very interesting.
Okay.
That's it.
Ken?
This month I went to a Call Your Information Interpretive Center meeting. We're still talking about doing a 5-year plan, but we're also talking about, we got some grants potentially on the board for doing a trail around the Collier Rest Stop, which would be interesting at least for visitors. They do get a lot of information up there. They get about 6,000 to 7,000 visitors per month in the summer. It does slow down in the winter, and actually, highway repairs have also slowed it down a bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a good meeting. That's it.
Bob?
I don't have anything, Ms. Mayor.
Stacy?
Yes, Ms. Mayor. Well, two things. I also attended, Sue was gracious enough to drive the meeting last night. We had a great presentation by our COS new president, who just recently, her first day was July 1st. And she mentioned about the new housing development and some other programs that are happening. And it was great to hear that. They're trying to do some other programs that are not degree-based, that are maybe like trade or areas of focus that can get jobs in the area. They're trying to get people for that. They did talk about, which we know, the LVN program. It's in danger of being eliminated, and if it does, it won't be able to come back there again. But they do have 2 offers out to 2 lead candidates that might help that program out. I think that was great to hear, because I know one person who came from nothing is now, and what's the highest level, LVN? RN. Their chief, their head of the department in San Jose at the county health department for the hospital there. And that's a person that came from being a waiter to that, through this program at COS. So I think that was great. What else, I think? Oh, in the ethics, I wanted to, the training that we had, it talks about just a presentation or how we're looked at. And I know I was in violation of this, or not in violation, but not causing, we shouldn't have our cell phones being used up here because everyone can't see the conversation, then everyone might think it's different. So I thought it might be great to mention that because I said I didn't turn my phone off and not be looking at what people are sending me messages are, because people are watching, but we can't be responding or communicating by our cell phone up here while we're on the dais or any other place that we're as a council. So it might be something to just be aware of. That's all, and just the placement of the fire, not the placement, but we talked about it a little bit, how it happened and why it happened due to factors of companies, cleanliness about their companies around, and people that are homeless in the area. So people just wanting to know, how's that being addressed? And my answer is like, well, there's people working on it, but we don't have an answer that says, this is gonna happen, this will stop it. Because it hasn't stopped it. Didn't stop the Bowles fire, didn't stop the fire that happened a few weeks ago. But it's something that people are aware of out there, want to know if we're doing certain things, so. And, I do want to mention, the Lincoln Avenue Parkway. People are speeding on that, and I asked people around town, do we have speed limit signs over town? And I think we used to have one when we were smaller, but they mentioned that maybe it's something we should look at, having them by parks or schools.
That's what happens when you've got a smooth road now.
Yeah, but let someone hit someone, like all the people that died on 97, that's why they put the light there for many years. I still hear from those families. That happened 20, 30 years ago, but the light was just put there, that assist. But somebody do not slow down, they're still going too fast to stop there. But it's some type of deterring activity, so that's what they're thinking about. So I don't know, I want us to look at that as a city. I know we did some signs for years ago when I asked about the park signs, we put some up there. And it might be something we can look at. Maybe we can just put signs around areas, not because that's a new place, but it's a factor. They go at 7, 8 in the morning before 6, and they're flying down there, and after all time in the
Just wait till
evening.
school starts.
Yeah, and so we should do something to be deterrent, not wait till something happens.
Speed bumps.
Something.
Hey Craig, how about speed bumps?
Our snowplows love speed bumps.
No, I'm joking.
Okay,
There is such a thing as a temporary speed bump. They can be installed and removed. So we just would need the signage to notify people of an upcoming speed bump. So they could be taken out for the wintertime.
do we own any?
No.
Yeah, that would probably work for, that wouldn't be temporary.
Just adding on, I know one thing that we did do for the school side area, we had, Chief went there himself, it actually was visibly there. People slowed down. But when the car's not there, people slow down, and it is not just neighbors, not just teachers, not just students, it's all of the above. So it's not just people that are in the area that are just going on the speedways. And maybe we talked about that partial sign that's flashing that says your speed is such and such. Sometimes that's a deterrent. And I think we have one of those, I heard, or access to one. So I'm just saying, not because it's my neighborhood, but I just know that, wait, people are flying. And we're going to do some more roads, and we don't want them flying there. Fly when you go to Medford or Reading.
Was that constructed for trucks? Yes. Asphalt was 6?
No, but the base material and everything that was done, the compaction rate and everything, yes, it's constructed for trucks and
There was a big
we
hole.
can leave potholes to slow people down. You know, I don't know, what do we want?
Is it
They
estimated to
might be
last,
cheaper than those rails.
Yeah.
We could go dig a hole.
and isn't it estimated to last 2 years what that project's done, the fault, that's what I heard. Is that
2?
correct? Yeah, is that right?
It's only gonna last 2
I'm
years?
asking that,
Is that what you
yeah.
said?
It's
No,
last-
no. It's a 10 to 30-year road.
I thought someone was saying because of the trucks, but I just.
Well, I hope not. I sure hope it lasts a lot longer. It lasted a long
The rumor
time for
mill.
when it's been there. I mean, it's really lasted, so,
30 years I was in elementary school.
there you go.
So that's all I have. I don't have any more, but thank you.
Okay, my report. So last weekend, I think we had a very successful Carnivale. There were a lot of people. The music was incredible. We had the most rides in our park than I've ever seen. And I don't know all the figures, but I did get some figures for Thursday night, which is not really an official night. And our numbers were up over 50% based on the last time we had it in 2019.
What,
So-
50% participation, 50% finance, what?
The percentage of tickets that are sold at the event. Because we get a cut of that. So we had a softball tournament, bocce, we had junior bocce, and we had horseshoes. And there were a lot of people there. We ran a little low on food vendors, but, you know, we have really no control over who wants to come. We reached out to some people, and we did add a few right at the last minute. But the fire department sold 1,970
Yep,
hamburgers.
patties.
Yeah, so my husband got a grilled cheese sandwich on a bun. Okay, and then if I can do this, Jeremy has faith in me. I am going to show you some vandalism that's been happening at the parks. Okay, now what do I do, Jeremy? Touch my picture? Okay. Okay, so this is Charlie Bird Park, the women's bathroom. I don't know why somebody needed to get into the bathroom this bad, but you can see that they first took the pins out of the hinges, God, but obviously couldn't get the last one out. So they just bent the door. So this is a metal door that was bent almost in half. And you can see this is from the inside where it's hanging off, and that little part right there that's missing in the door is bent up on the other side. Now, I think they probably could have gone home and gone to the bathroom quicker than it took them to get, and I don't know what's in there that we needed, but that was an $800 door. And that's the second one that we've had vandalized. Well, the other one wasn't really vandalized, it was just busted down. And then, so we've got it fixed, and this was the following week.
I think somebody's cat got in there.
The doors are locked. But I don't know what time of the day it was. It's just when the guys go there to lock things up, this is what they find. Okay. Then this is Carrick Park. So that's the building where the maintenance stuff is and the bathrooms. That's on the other side where there's more room to tag it, I guess. And then they wrote across it's like this plastic stuff that's supposed to keep you from getting hurt on the top of the fence, which I have seen more people get hurt with these than they did before because bees make nests in these and then they get stung. Okay, so then I'm going to move over here because these didn't download. So one of our instructors had her car broken into in our parking lot at 5:52. There were all kinds of cars in the parking lot. It was very brazen. They pulled up right next to it. You could, in our video camera, you could see the passenger door open, and then the driver come walking back around with his hands full.
What did they take?
Her purse, her wallet, she had mail in there, her pay stub.
They saw that, and that's why they.
Well, it was an interesting, but yes, so her card was used at May 10, and then at Walmart.
So the card was used May 10, Walmart, Ashland, Springfield. We do have a pending contacts with other agencies. There was a vehicle stop in Oregon in which some of her property was in the car, and it was a rental car out of we believe out of the Los Angeles area. So.
Okay, this is our solar system, which we got that grant from Blue Sky. It was in operation maybe 6 months and then was vandalized. So 4 panels you can tell it's rocks that were thrown at them. And Hosel Solar did a little commercial over there, and in exchange gave us the panels to replace these broken ones. But we can't even afford to pay the electrician to come and switch them out. And then, so this is part of the tax measure. We need security in our parks. And the only place we have any security cameras right now is around the community center. And they helped us, and they didn't help us stop the person from breaking into her car. I don't know that they even knew we had them, and it didn't look like they really cared. But none of our parks have, and they're pretty dark at night. And yes, the Weed PD, something happens and they patrol more, but they can't sit there all night, and we can't expect them to. And we surely can't have our own security, especially when our parks are so spread out. So there's been vandalism at Bel Air, Carrick, and Charlie Bird. So
Charlie Bird Park has 2 cameras.
it says it does.
Chief showed me where they are, and I saw them. I know they're there. There's one by the basketball courts up on the pole, and one by the back porch. If they're still there, you would know probably that.
So our systems that we use are completely outdated. The one on Main Street now is, we actually have the power cord in here. The cameras are reaching the end of their lives, and they're starting to fail. So some are working, some are not, so.
So if there is one at Lincoln Park, I don't know where it's hooked up to, who's monitoring
So that
it,
one,
if it
that one
even
was
does it.
moved, that was the one that was placed on Main Street, and that one is not functioning currently. It was taken down recently, and as I said, the power cord they're reaching the end of their service life, so additional cameras would be a capital outlay during budget talks. So.
Okay, so the skateboard has been, the skate park has been tagged several times. One of the skaters went over one day and came over and asked us for a broom. There was a bunch of broken beer bottles in the bottom of it, because if you sit down in there, nobody can see you. So my real thing, even though there's nobody here in the audience, is parents, where are your kids at night, and what are they doing? They're terrorizing the city. It's not, all this tagging and everything isn't happening just at the parks.
And it may not be just, it could be some adults that are dysfunctional too.
It could be. It's very possible.
How long a period would this take place in?
The park, the doors, it was within 3 weeks of fixing the door. Then the trash was all over. The tagging and the skate park happened within a couple of weeks of each other. It's been, it's been almost a year, I bet, since our solar was vandalized. But do you know how much that costs us when they're not operating? And then I'm not sure about about Carrick. It's been painted over several times, which they sent me pictures of that too. And it's not vandalism, but it's not very appealing looking, because now you've got this concrete building with this big black block on it. And they actually make paint now to cover tagging that looks like concrete. But we haven't been able to find any of it.
Well, the words
yet.
I saw in there are offensive, and they
They are
bother me.
very offensive,
I
and
don't-
yes,
I don't
they
care
bother
where the-
me too.
Where the people come from, black, purple, brown, blue, they're offensive words that are to the public. And
They're
it characters out of
they're
our,
offensive, but I see the word FU blank blank on
Everything.
signage all over the county, on signage.
I know.
Not tagged, signage. I see it on trucks driving by.
Oh, yeah.
You just see it everywhere, so
I know.
I'm not really concerned. I am concerned that we're tagging, believe me. However, also the fact that the security system's not the answer. It can't be. What did that security system cost us when we bought it? It was over 20 grand, if I remember. That was the initial deposit.
For the 2 cameras, I can't remember. I don't think it was quite that much. We never expanded, so that was probably with the expansion pack, but we never bought the expansion.
I think it was 16 or 18, if I
Yeah.
remember, something like that.
So again, I mean, it's not a cost-effective
I-
way. That's why I asked about the period of time it took place. in.
Yeah.
It is effective. I can say for Craig's department, it probably paid for itself during a hydrant getting run over incident, and so
Oh, true.
that probably did pay for the system, so.
On that, it's obvious, I keep saying that, you know, we have a cultural issue here. I mean, what is, you know, I was a thief. I had no, I never understood vandals. But vandals are, there's a, it becomes a mentality, it becomes an outlet, and we're not countering it at all. We don't have I mean, can we think about an anti-vandalizing program to get people, maybe young people, to understand that who you're actually doing this to, you know? Like Ken says, you know, the fixing this is, you know, it's much deeper than just getting enough cameras or getting enough police to I don't know. To me, if we're going to do something about it, we need to, maybe as our council, maybe we need to do something, some education regarding vandalism, or maybe somebody else has a program already that might have worked.
Well, we have neighborhood watch out in Carrick, and that didn't help, so.
No.
I think a lot of facts have to be done. I understand what Councilman Pavini said,
Would
but
the council
yes.
like to put this on a future agenda to discuss
Sure.
vandalism and methods
Security?
to stop it?
Yeah.
Just because this, you know, this is just council announcements.
Right. I just want to finish my sentence, though. If I can finish my sentence, I was talking, I'd like to finish that sentence just for, I do have a problem seeing it, and I don't care if it doesn't affect me or not, but I do have a problem seeing those offensive words painted on stuff that's in our city limits. I have a problem with that. I want that on record, just so,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, and last on my list is, I just want to thank everybody because it has been a pleasure serving on the council and now as the mayor. But I am not running for reelection in November. In fact, probably by this time next year, I will be living in Deer Park, Washington. So.
With my niece.
Yeah, with Sue's relatives. And so I will be completing my term this year and then handing the reins over to whoever is elected. So, thank you.
Well, that's a shock, but thank you for your service, what you've done this far. I appreciate
you, Stacey.
you as a person.
You don't think so? Okay.
Thought you were going to your parents.
My parents are actually moving, the movers are coming tomorrow, and then I will be transporting them on Saturday.
They're not going to Deer Park.
They're not going to, they're going to Fallon, Nevada for healthcare reasons. Okay, consent agenda.
I will move to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
Excuse me, hold on.
Oh.
I would like to remove item A from the consent agenda.
Item what, excuse me?
A?
A, the
A.
minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now I would like to approve the consent agenda without item A.
Okay.
I will second it.
Bob second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any public comment? All right. Unanimous.
What was on your question?
Okay. Okay, so we are going to move to items removed from consent.
Yeah, I would like to actually amend the minutes. I would like to make a request that my report last month be entered verbatim, or at least added as an addendum with a footnote, please.
Since it was consent, do we have to vote on that?
Yes, we would need a motion to approve the minutes as
Being
amended.
amended.
Well, no, I mean,
Do we have
do we
to,
have to approve his amendment? What he just said he'd like,
If,
In the minutes.
it's up to the council if it wants to amend the minutes as requested.
Okay.
It can do so by motion. If it doesn't want to approve the minutes as amended,
Can I make that same motion then, right?
yeah, what were you gonna say?
No.
do we have the statement?
oh,
then?
see, that's what I figured.
Do you have it in a form?
I have it in a written form, I don't have it on me.
Yeah, so you can get that?
I can get it to you.
Okay.
But a question, that information has to be verbatim what was different than what was said or
There
typed in
wasn't
the
anything,
minutes.
I read it from a
He
piece of
read,
paper.
he had it typed up,
Okay.
yeah,
So that's what has to be resubmitted, right? Or submitted?
yeah.
I just submitted it
To the, for the minute, for minutes.
Okay.
Okay,
That
Alright.
was on,
I-
that statement was related to the item, the CA, the tax. motion.
right.
It was related to the tax initiative, but it was remembered.
But it was
on-
in reports.
It was on
Oh,
a
right, okay,
report on
got it.
transparency and ethics.
So,
Okay, so he made the motion.
I'll second.
I thought he just.
All in
read the information.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment? Okay, we're good. Council business. Finance, by motion. Council will consider second reading and adoption by title only of ordinance 469-2022.
I will make the motion. We
Sue,
approve
do I have a
ordinance number
second?
4692022.
Do we have to do it by title only, or? No?
We don't have to say that anymore.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's been a while, we've been doing it.
yeah.
Were you seconding it?
Do I have a second?
Who made the
It's a
motion?
second reading.
She
I did.
Or are you seconding it?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Public comment.
I would like to make a comment, last chance. I would still like the council to reconsider adding the sales tax to the voters. This is still purely a play to the Recreation Department's mismanagement of funds, and I won't let go of that. And again, just based upon the report and the inability to pay for vandalism, I would still go with that same comment. I would not be foolish, and I hope my council is not foolish to approve that.
I just have a question, maybe our lawyer, and I thought about this for years. If something is presented and it's coming back for a review, what's the ordinance or the behavior to address or not address it when something comes back? Because like if something voted for something, it didn't pass. I'll just give an example, like the cannabis, when it was years ago before it was medical. I voted for it and was voted for against it, and I just left it there until it changed by law. So is there any type of timing that we have to do when we vote on something in a meeting, that we come back and address it? Is there any behavior, things that we do as a council? Or rules or something?
The only parliamentary rule would be with respect to motions to reconsider. And usually those are only allowed at either the meeting or the subsequent meeting. Otherwise, it would be a whole new proposal that would have to come forward.
So just clarification, so his point would be the subsequent meeting after last month we talked about it and was voted on, and he wants to make a point about the issue, which is, it's freedom of speech, it's still appropriate, right?
It is still appropriate to have a discussion on an item that is there's two readings.
Right.
There's comments on the first reading, and
Right,
I'm
right.
still allowed to make comments on the second
This
reading.
is the adoption, so this is
Right.
really the
Yeah.
final action.
This is the final act, so that's why I'm asking as a last attempt that I just believe there's different avenues for this. And again, as we stated again tonight, it is how those funds are handled, in my opinion. Now, that is my opinion. So,
And I don't necessarily believe that the quarter penny tax, all of it is going to go to the recreation. I'm hoping some of it goes to the fire department and the police department and the
The
no
cemetery?
potholes. we're
And the
keeping
cemetery?
potholes. And the
Cemetery.
cemetery,
Thank you.
yes, and the both cemeteries,
Cemetery Association.
yes.
And as our legal counsel has advised us, we already have a 1/4% sales tax. It was the cemetery. As a council, it is a general tax already. We can move $15,000 to the cemetery. My big complaint over the years is the funding out of TOT. It is not proper. So if the council wants to make that decision out of whatever they have, that's our decision. The city gets to spend what we don't allocate. That's always the way I interpreted that 1/4% sales tax. That's just, okay.
And I would make the motion that we do another 1/4% so that we can, for the second reading, so that we can expand our services.
Okay, so we have a first. Do we have a second?
Great information.
I would like to make one more response to Sue's comment. I have yet to hear the city request funds for police, for fire. They have not made the request. I have not heard that
don't know
request
that they
at all.
have to request it from us.
Well,
You
they
would
have a-
think
they
they
have a
would make a
budget.
request if we have a need for it.
Do we spend any money out of our 1/4% on the city?
We bought a fire truck.
The previous fiscal years, what's happened is, within the 1/4 penny, there's been the allocations for the various programs, and the remainder of it has gone back toward the uses of those. Is it specifically, this 10,000 was for that? No, it just goes back.
It just
into the-
went back in the
into
general fund
for
and you
those-
guys spent it.
Yeah,
whatever.
For those type of, those type of funding needs.
Okay.
That's an important part, because initially when this came up, I asked the verbiage of that, because it said senior services, fire and police department. That's how it was written in the actual voting mechanism in 2020. And I asked that, and I got shot back, because they said, we don't have to do that. It'll be like a general function, general fund. That's what I was explained. So I appreciate that question, because I did ask that, and some people asked me that in the city. Want to know, why are you doing it for certain areas like the police, the fire, and senior services, and yet they still need money?
Well, because they always need money. And again, that's on us. I mean, because that's what, well, I don't think I was on the council then.
Well,
but-
we didn't make that
It
we had to
wasn't
have
specifically for
the
that.
oversight committee either.
Yeah.
Which
And this one will have an
This one will
oversight
have an
committee.
oversight, yes.
My questions are just for clarification, because what I hear and what I think when I'm at home or not here, or people talk to me. So that's only the point my questions are coming forth because of that.
What Ken is talking about, I happen to agree with him, but yet I disagree, but I agree that there's,
You can agree to disagree.
yes. But
It's a thing.
easy way out, I guess, no, but I think that, and we have a sunset on this, correct? We were going to 10-year
Yes,
sunset, was it?
10-year sunset.
10-year, and I think that, when I look back at our first 1/4% sales tax, it opened up some new avenues for us. I mean, before this, we had basically zero senior citizen program. We had the golden seniors who really they did nothing other than go on trips, the ones that could afford it.
We're on their own.
As far as services, but we opened up that can of worms, so to speak, but it grew, it was a positive thing. Our library was just basically going to not exist. And that's really what motivated that, and we have been able to carry on that way. Myself, I do have a problem with, that when we start taking out of the city to take care of the rec department, but when we start talking about the cemetery and things like that, when we start talking about alternatives, I don't, like a parcel tax, it doesn't pencil out to enough to do what needs to be done. I have to, and the rec department obviously is in a bad position right now. I think that the community center is a wonderful thing, but is it really
it is, I don't know that the rec department is in that bad of
Okay.
a situation. It's not.
Can we make it without just tax?
If you don't want anything else
Yeah.
to happen.
Anything else? Do you mean programs or, yeah?
Yeah. Or just.
What kind of programs
Well,
are
for
we talking
one
about?
thing you have to remember too is the rec department could not rent that building for a year and a half and received $660 in COVID money. That's it. Could not rent it for a
True.
year and a half.
And we lost all our members.
Yeah, members, and so
Our
there.
monthly income.
But there's contingency money to get the new doors. They're not bathrooms with no doors.
Okay.
But it would be nice, there could be something that comes up. It could go 2 years without ever asking for anything.
So is there a possibility of mismanagement of funds or leadership or funds?
There,
I'm just asking as a
You
general
can go look.
question.
You can go look.
I'm
It's
not
public
looking, I'm asking a
information.
question
No,
because
no,
it's.
there's not.
Okay, that's what the answer is yes or no if you know.
Yeah, no,
That's all.
And we are
Every
gonna
one
have-
of
we
our
are gonna have some-
employees could make more working at McDonald's.
We're gonna be competing, I mean,
Facts.
this is not earmarked for any particular one thing. If we need to do something requiring our public safety, public works or safety, that should be and that's gonna be an
That's why the oversight
open
committee-
agreement between all of us that,
And the oversight committee.
the
If you
oversight
give
committee.
government money, government will spend it.
You bet
Bottom
they will.
line.
true.
And
I'm sorry. I love all you
I
guys. Don't
agree,
take me out.
but my other point is that, the number one thing is that when we're talking about this fund being 80 to 85% by people that don't live here, when I have to go to Reading and do the same tax there,
Or
or
Walmart.
wherever I go,
Or Wairika.
or Wairika, what's fair is fair,
Who's trying to raise theirs? One
They're trying to
full
raise
penny?
but I do love you.
$8.25.
Theirs is also failing right now. So I just point that out.
Well,
it
their
hasn't
raise
started.
is failing, but they're already at
you see.
$7.75.
And I would, just because I want to get on my, I like fireman stand, I would love to see us piggyback onto one of those CAL FIRE Type 3 engine, because CAL FIRE goes and buys hundreds of engines, and we could get in on that, where you get it for almost a third?
A third?
Right. Instead of 600? Yeah.
Well,
But-
that's the type of financial strategy discussions we need to be having.
Well, not if we don't have any
Not
money
if
to
we
buy
don't
it.
pass it.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter because we don't have the money to buy it. Why have the discussion if we don't have the money to buy it?
Can I
But
give you
that
a-
is,
I think the discussions come first on how you spend funds or
Yeah.
what you're looking for, not after. When we established the first 1/4% sales tax, we had things already in line on how we wanted. We spent time talking to seniors to see what they wanted. The first year we bought a bus, we didn't spend any money really on the seniors other than the purchase of the bus. Then we got the second allocation came, we started hiring people to operate the bus. We allocated lunch money for well, actually not a lunch money, it was a senior social program. Lunch was part of that. The library was also a goal that we had in mind before we started. Everything was before, not after. So if we're going to have, again, 1/4% sales tax, I know it's not much. I know it doesn't impact me a great deal. But there are people it does impact. And for some people, $10 is $10. Now, nobody might have that same reflection up here. But I I assist with the resource center all the time, and $10 is money to them. Money that they don't have to give to something else, money they can't put in their gas tank if they happen to get lucky enough to have a car. So, anyway, all right.
okay,
Money that
I
they
s-
spend on being,
Anyway,
I
that
still
was
have
the end of my
enough- Okay, do I have
discussion,
a
asking you
second?
not to do it.
I had a second?
Councilmember Hall.
All right, in favor?
aye.
Aye. Against?
Can we do a roll call vote on that?
I'm not
Do we need a
sure,
roll
I'm
call
trying to
vote?
read something. You can do it by person, I don't, however you need to do it.
Do we have to have a roll call vote?
We don't have to, but
Oh.
it's just for,
It has to be by 2/3.
it needs to be a 2/3, so it would be good if we documented that.
Okay.
Councilmember Susan Tavalaro,
Yes.
Councilmember Ken Palfini,
No.
Councilmember Bob Hall,
Yes.
Councilmember Kim Green,
Yes.
Councilmember Stacy Green.
No.
The vote's recorded.
Thank you.
So the measure, the ordinance fails because it needed a two-thirds approval of the legislature.
Oh, so 4 out of the 5 of us had to.
May I have a question? Question? Even though the motion passed, still have a question about,
The motion did not pass.
The motion did
4
not.
I'm
out of
sorry.
5 of us had to.
well, I have a statement or a question about the process. I was looking here to see what the specifics, as you mentioned, were mentioned in here, and I don't see that, so I think that's okay, but that, I thought I saw that.
What are you saying?
The different departments that we're gonna be focused on, like the seniors, the weed
For
police.
this one?
Yes, and that doesn't say that, is that correct?
Because we
Because we can't.
Right.
It's a
I'm
general
only asking a
tax.
question. I'm asking because I said I thought it was here, written first, and I'm making sure it's not here now, so I'm just double checking. That's not in the verbiage. I'm going through every page of it. I thought it was there. That's why I'm clarifying. My eyes are seeing the right thing. That's all I'm saying. So don't jump on me. I'm trying to clarification from my understanding.
Correct. The ordinance proposed a general tax, which only requires majority approval by the voters. And a general tax is unrestricted such that it can be spent on any general fund, general governmental purpose at the discretion of the council.
And our oversight committee that we were going to have, we're not having it now because we didn't have 4 people vote yes like we did last month.
So my question comes because of that, the way Councilman Pelfini explained it, did it happen as what he said, that some areas of focus were spent and then the money went elsewhere when it was not taken care of, or items were, you understand what I'm saying?
No,
No.
not a thing.
Okay, let me see, if I can say it differently. You mentioned, Councilmember, Pelfini, you mentioned some areas of focus for the first tax initiative. And I thought I understood the way you explained it was that those areas of focus were not taken care of financially, 100%.
Yes, they were.
No.
That's senior
Let me go
services
back so
and
that
the
you understand.
library.
What my statement was, is when we passed the first tax, we had stuff in mind. We knew where we were gonna spend the money prior to
What year
going
was
after
it?
the tax.
Do you remember?
2015. Okay, at the year of 2015, we voted it in. We had to take, again, we went to a second vote for the public because the verbiage was wrong. If I look back, it's when my memory. I'm not sure when we did that, but we didn't get a first allocation of money until, I believe it was September of that year.
Because of how our ordinance was written?
No, it's
No,
because you
it-
have to pay the state back
No.
for rewriting everything, I
The
thought.
first, when we put it on the ballot, it was because it was written wrong. We took it back to the
Yeah,
voters.
yeah.
And we voted, the voters voted it in again. Then, before we got, then you have to do at least a 3-month process to get everybody ready, and another 3 months to get the funding in for the first quarter. And it was September, the first September, what we did was we bought a bus.
A van. We
A
bought a
van.
wheelchair van. It's not a bus, it's
Okay.
a wheelchair van.
Okay, a van. After that, we actually didn't have a whole lot left, so we didn't do much until at least December, if I'm not mistaken, of,
I think we did something to the library, Ken.
oh, we did fund the library, yeah, you're
Well, we
right.
had to
We ordered
find
a
them
fire
a place
truck.
to live.
But I think the first, before we even funded we had already given money to the library that
30,000.
fiscal year.
But they had
30,000.
Bowles Fire Recovery money, didn't they?
Yeah, but they still have it, so anyway, they're still recovering.
Okay, so they have another funding source?
Huh?
Where do they get their money from?
Their old
funding
people are holding on to it.
Well, first it was from the county. Then the city we went into partnership with the library. The Friends of the Library were pitching in 50-50. Then it became like 60-40, then it became like 70-30, and now we're just not partners anymore. So, but in between that, we voted for the sales tax. That sales tax funded the library. But I don't think they received funds until 2017. somewhere around there.
And we bought a new fire truck.
They helped, that actually helped us buy a new fire truck.
Yes, because we make payments on it yearly.
Yeah. And that was the portion that the city took, like, I don't know, 60,000 a year or something.
So I think your statement clarifies my question areas of how things were voted on and how they were processed through our budget and everything. So I think I just heard that still, that you talked about the library. Some funds were there, it didn't happen at a certain time, and so yeah, those are my questions.
So, Michael, I have a question. Can I ask you a question?
Sure, you can ask
So
me any
last month, when we
question.
discussed this, till our heads exploded, we decided that we would put a committee, we voted yes,
Right.
4-1, and we decided we would get an oversight committee to help us with what this money is going to do,
And the sunset.
and a sunset
And
on
that-
it, because those were two things that you had asked for.
Right, I
So
got
we
you.
voted on that,
Right.
4-1, and now a month later, you've decided that you don't like that?
I don't think I'm deciding, I just have questions about it, so it's no
But you
But you
decision.
just
voted
decided.
no.
Right,
Done.
because I still have questions about the process of what happened and what didn't happen. I rethought about it when I started thinking about the programs when I was here, what was established, what
Okay.
actually happened,
And you
how
didn't
things were
like-
framed.
So what you're saying is you didn't like what happened with the last quarter penny tax?
I'm not sure it was applied correctly or handled correctly by leadership, and I don't know if that would be.
Which is why you wanted the oversight committee.
Right, that's
correct?
why we have an oversight committee for the next one.
But I'm still not 100% that oversight committee will do what it's supposed to do, because we haven't had one here before, so I don't know that. I have questions about that.
Well, why wouldn't you do what you're supposed to do with it? I plan on doing
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do because I
with
was elected to say what people say
too.
out there from the committee.
So what if you were in charge of the oversight
Let me finish
committee?
my sentence. You want to ask what I would do? I am responsible for bringing situations that people ask me about, why are things being handled this way? And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, bringing those questions here.
Okay,
So I've done what I'm supposed to do.
but I'm confused where you think the last one went wrong, and why did you want an oversight committee?
Because I still want that place, that behavior, or that people are forced in place to check funds, because I'm not sure it was taken correctly because of our change of leadership and finances.
It doesn't matter now.
Well, that's still my question. I'm,
Okay.
as a human being,
All right.
I'm okay to have that question and to
Yeah.
change my vote from last month.
Okay? So it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it's not gonna be on the, it's not gonna be on
even
the.
ballot.
I'm saying
ballot.
every fifth person up here has a responsibility to say
Exactly.
how they feel, and I have that responsibility, so I can change in 2 weeks. I can change in a week.
Well,
I just
not
have thought
this.
about
You
it.
can't.
Yeah, you
I
can.
can change my thoughts on it and how I feel about it.
Well, I
You
hope
can't
next
change
week
your
you don't
vote.
decide
I
that you should have
think
voted
the
yes.
conversation's not going anywhere.
No. I'm done.
Mr. Green is entitled to his opinion, and that's the way it is.
And I don't want to be attacked up here,
Mr.
what I
Green is,
voted
but
last week.
Somehow we're not.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not attacking you.
Sorry, Steve, no new fire truck.
okay, well,
Sorry,
do
no.
we even
I would,
need, do we
the
even
commentary
need
doesn't
B?
need to happen, Sue, that's not the problem.
Oh, serious?
No, the next item, which was the resolution calling the election on the measure, is now moot, because since we didn't have the two-thirds majority approval by the legislative body, the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration wouldn't administer that tax.
All right. Staff reports, Sandy? Tim?
Nothing to report at this time.
David?
No report.
Justin?
I just want to say we had a successful free swim day at the Carnivale for the kids. We had 60,
It was.
60 people come out to the municipal pool, utilize that. It was a good day.
Yeah, it was a.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great, thanks. The kids enjoyed that.
I was gonna report on Lincoln, but we've already discussed that, so it's been completed.
All right.
I just want to thank Kim for allowing us to use the community center for the Siskiyou County Fire Chiefs Association meeting this month. They don't usually move it around, it's usually in Wairika, but we moved it here to Weed, so some of the south people could attend, and the room was great, and we appreciate it, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Bob, you want to take us out?
Miss,
We have a closed
Closed
session.
session.
Oh,
Motion
okay.
to
Do you want to
adjourn
take us
closed
in?
session.
I make a motion, we adjourn to closed session?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? All right.
The meeting tomorrow,